Hello and welcome to Quid or Continue, or should I say QRC News? Yes. I don't know why I'm talking like a news reporter. That's interesting, isn't it?
It's the news, that's why. It's the news, so you talk like a news reporter.
Can we have the jingle?
That was really loud, and we're actually recording this in a pub, so that wasn't embarrassing at all.
Cool. So that's just to explain, usually Quid or Continue, it's a video games book club. We all talk about a game to inane lengths, but we're going to dovetail it into the news. So what's been going on this week? Should we talk about the order?
Yes, let us talk about the order, specifically the length of the order. 5 hours reportedly being put on to YouTube, the whole thing, which is like, like we were talking about this. If you did that with a movie, there'd be copyright stuff, people be up in arms, spoilers, but it just seems to have been lobbed up there, and all anybody's talking about is like the fact it's 5 hours.
I'm sure that he hasn't gone into every little nook and crevice and found everything. Is the achievement? Is every single achievement? Has he got the platinum at the end? I don't want to spoil it for myself, so I've not looked at it.
No, I've not looked at it either. And like, there's two sides to this, isn't there? There's like, first of all, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I feel like a short game is actually quite nice if it's really impactful. Like Modern Warfare 4, for example, is pretty good actually. It's so impactful. There's so much stuff in there. But on the other side, if I'm paying 50 quid for 5 hours, that's £10 an hour. That's above minimum wage.
Well, see, I'm not as much of an issue with that because I kind of think like when you look at films, you pay the same price for films, same cost at cinema. Would you rather go see Transformers for 2.5 hours or see, I don't know, I can't compare a short film.
No one wants to see Transformers at any length of time.
But the point is like the length of the film doesn't make a difference. Like my enjoyment of a short film is going to be better than something like a Transformers film.
If you look at the same thing, like, the cinema costs quite a bit of money, but a trip to cinema is like, what, £10 a ticket, that's 20 quid for two people, and then or like a DVD is, what, like 15 quid or something. And you're thinking like, oh, wait a minute, 50 quid? Like, that seems a lot of money, isn't it?
Well, that's a different conversation altogether, actually, is the cost of games, brand new games. I think the length of the game, I rarely justify a brand new price on a game these days. They come down in price so quickly anyway. I think that's a different.
I think the key thing is people are complaining about the length of the game, and I think 5 hours, isn't it 5 hours with cutscenes as well? So actual gameplay.
Yeah, but whether or not he's found every little thing to find, I don't know. But then I don't care.
All the collectibles, as far as I'm concerned, that's just filler.
Yeah.
So it's not. So let's assume it is around 5 hours, and this is right. I think the main point is if people don't like the fact it's 5 hours, don't buy it full price. I feel like way too often with games, people can't wait to play something. They buy it day one, and then they say, "Oh, I can't believe it cost 50 quid for 5 hours."
I do it every year with Grand Theft Auto. I don't know why. Every year, well, not every year, it doesn't come out every year, but every single time it comes out, I feel compelled to buy it the day it comes out. And I could have just waited 2 months or whatever, and it would be like reducing price considerably.
Yeah. Although with GTA, you're probably going to get hundreds of hours potentially.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say just to finish on a different point, really. Like my whole thing with the idea of the length of it. So it's not got any multiplayer, so the 5 hours is your lot. But then, and people will probably still give it 7, 8 out of 10 or something, and maybe moan about the length a little bit. On the other side of that coin, you've got games that are only multiplayer only, and don't have a single player campaign. And there's always like a feeling in the game's press that these games are unfinished, where it's interesting you can do a single player campaign and only, and no one bats an eyelid. But then on the other side of that, you can do a multiplayer game only, and people are like, well, it's not got any single player content.
I don't know if I really mind that though. I think I'd rather have a decent single player than something aimed at multiplayer. But then also there's the issue for me is that length. Actually, I quite like a short game to some degree. I don't like these games. Look at how I felt with Alien Isolation. If that game had been half the length, I'd have liked it more. But it outstayed its welcome, and I mean, I'm not saying that this is not making excuses for the order being short, because it might be just too short. But I can't say that. I'm not the one who's made the game, or I haven't even played the game yet, so I can't say whether it's too short or too long at the moment.
We don't know the quality of it, do we? Yet?
No, I mean, I think the problem is we played it at CES, didn't we? And it seems short, but also horribly generic. It's like, it is basically Gears of War with a bit of in London.
With a nice palette to it. Look, it does look good, admittedly.
Gears looked pretty good. The last one was pretty nice. Not Judgment, which I hated.
No, but it looks a level up like you'd expect for PS4 to Xbox.
Yeah, a different console, though, isn't it? I mean, but I think if it's 4 or 5 hours and it just blows you away, then you're like, nice one. But if it's 4 or 5 hours and you're like, meh, then what the fuck? It's like a fucking Cinnabon, isn't it? Yes, I want the cup of jizz.
On that horrendous bombshell. All right, so this is a little bit unnewsy because it was last week, but I don't care because I'm really excited about it. But Bethesda, I can't even say it. Bethesda.
Should we have a go at that? Oh, Bethesda?
If you've got a list.
Bethesda.
Bethesda.
All right. Who was the best one out of all of them?
Seductive, to be very honest.
That's how they would have wanted it, I'm sure.
Oh, hello, darling. I'm going to go to the Bethesda launch party. Anyway, they have announced they're going to have an E3 conference, which is a first for them. Very exciting. I'm going to make my predictions, what I think will be there, and then you guys can all make your predictions, maybe. But maybe let's just do it as a group. But obviously, Fallout 4 probably has to be there.
Must be. I think Dishonored 2 has got to be there.
If that's not unveiled, I'll be very,
I'll
very
eat
annoyed.
my own face.
You heard it here first, guys.
It's going to be tricky. Yeah, actually, let's not take that as a legal contract, by the way. Actually,
There's the YouTube hits right there.
Doom, obviously.
Doom, yeah, because we saw a teaser of Doom, didn't we, a while ago, but nothing major.
Well, we didn't. Yeah, it didn't get released publicly.
But there was a teaser, wasn't there? It was a Doom teaser.
There was a logo that was a bit flamey.
No, maybe the little video, it was like a
Your
E3.
dreams, because only you occupy that space.
But I think there was a little trailer that got released publicly, but I think that anything to do with the actual gameplay was a closed thing. Yeah, it's not.
I haven't played 3 yet, so I better crack on, hadn't I? It only came out 10 years ago. Give me a chance.
There's another one in there that they're talking about.
There's like a weird, so Prey 2 was
Prey
canned,
2, yeah.
so that was cancelled. But then I guess that development studio, unless they're working on stuff that I don't know about, there must be something there as well. So that'll be a weird thing.
They must have some pretty substantial stuff to get a slot that big.
There's talk of HD. Well, I don't. They were already HD, but like PS4 generation, Skyrim or Morrowind coming out.
Okay.
Maybe updates to those, like updated versions of those, all on the same disc and all that kind of stuff.
I think that could be really interesting. I think it's like a big move from them, isn't it? Because they've always been a reasonable sized publisher, but this sounds like they kind of want to get to Ubisoft, EA. I don't know if they've ever got any funding or anything, because that's a pretty big investment to make, isn't it?
They've got some big companies, like they've got ID sort of in their pocket. That's obviously a massive, wealthy company. I'm sure they're hammering loads of money into them. Don't know. It's going to be an interesting one. I mean, they're actually going day zero at E3, so they're going to actually have the scoop on all the other ones if they've got anything big that can steal the show. But the problem with that is, by the end of the show, you'll all be talking about if Sony or Microsoft have come out with stuff. So maybe they'll get forgotten. It's a gamble.
So in terms of Fallout 4, where do we think it'll be set?
As in geographically?
Yeah.
They won't go away from America.
No,
they
I
never
know,
do.
I know. It's the old GTA problem, isn't it? It's always in the States. But I don't know. It'll be. So where were they before? You had Vegas and.
Vegas was Fallout 3, wasn't it?
That was New Vegas.
New Vegas.
That was the last one. And then they had Fallout 3, which was, I don't even know, it was all like, it was just American Midwest, I think.
Post-Calypso.
So yeah, I'm going to trademark that.
Which we love a bit of post-Calypso world. But there are other ice creams and ice treats available, just out of interest.
I'm going to say. Oh, it's in Washington, wasn't it, the first one?
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting to see. I think that one would be really interesting. I think Dishonored 2 would be really interesting because I think that game felt, for me, it was really good. But I felt there was more to come. It felt like it wasn't quite the complete experience there.
That was my game of the last generation. It was awesome.
I think it was a real surprise, wasn't it? And it felt like a bit of a Bioshock clone. But actually, when you played it, it wasn't like that at all. And I got the horrible ending. I killed every single. I went out of my way to kill people in that game. I went like, oh wait a minute, there's a guy 2 miles back. I better go back and cut his head off. And then it got to the end. I don't know if anybody's played it, but when you get the little mate with the river cruise, and he's your friend all the way through. I got to the end. He got to the final boss guy. He shot in the air to alert the enemies. I was such a bastard. Yeah, he was like, fuck this guy, basically. Yeah.
He gave me some gummy bears and said good luck. So
He was nice to me as well.
yeah, so
I reported him to Operation U-Tree though, so got my own back.
so he won't be in the second game.
He's in hell with Savile.
All right. Should we cut that bit out?
No, let's not cut that.
All right. So Sony didn't announce, but basically, The Last Guardian ran out of its licensing. Like, so they've now announced they've renewed it anyway. So this all led to like massive stories. That, oh my God, Last Guardian's finally cancelled after so many years of God knows, I don't even call it hell anymore. I don't even know what the word for Last Guardian's development is, really.
Myth, basically.
Myth,
this
yeah.
game has become like a myth. It's like the Yeti or a unicorn. Or,
Which is quite apt because it's got like a flying kind of dragon unicorn thing in it. Who knows what that thing's called?
It's almost like you wonder what will when it does come out, which is weirdly enough like what you think about South Park, which we'll be talking about in the next podcast. Just a bit of a plug, but like when you go through development hell, either it comes out the ashes or it's just such a mishmash of crap, isn't it? Really.
Like Duke Nukem, which was, exactly, yeah. Spent ages making it. Went through although this is just with one studio, so hopefully they can't cock up too badly. But I don't give a shit anymore. I'm just tired. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of people getting upset about it. If it comes out, I'll play it fine. But I'm not gonna worry about it or.
When you think the last game they did, Shadow of the Colossus, that was a PS2 game. They went an entire cycle.
That's crazy, isn't it? I mean, like the whole Team Ico just out of the game for so long.
It's incredible.
I mean, the studio does still exist, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, the lead designer, I can't remember the guy's name now. I'm very sorry to say, but he kind of quit the company, but then they brought him back in on a weird kind of freelance contract, and he's in that kind of weird place himself. So there's obviously been many, many issues there. One of the things that apparently they call it Trico, which is the name of the beast. That's what they colloquially call it. So I wonder if actually the name will change in the end, and the game that we all saw years ago, at the E3, will actually come out not be called The Last Guardian anymore.
But I think that would be a real mistake because almost like the name Last Guardian has become synonymous, not just in like geek circles, but like other people know about it as well. Like it's been synonymous with this mythical beast of a game, and like almost like to lose it would be like, well, that's all you've really got. I mean, all we've seen is a trailer. I mean, Christ knows if they've got anything else beyond that. But if it ever comes out, there's going to be so much attention on it.
Well, it'll never live up to the hype in the current guys, though, will it? It'll always come out and we'll always be like, really? That was it?
Yeah, because I wonder what people actually are expecting from the game, what type of game it would be and all that kind of stuff, because there's nothing really shown.
It's just exactly like a cross between Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. I mean, it's like they've taken the two games and put them into one, as far as I can tell, which could be awesome, but we may never find out.
But it's like a bit like Black and White to me, as well, as if you can maybe train up the thing and it can follow you around and you can look after it.
Like
and
a Pokemon.
almost like like a
massive Pokemon.
What would it be called? Hairy bird thing. This one's called.
I think. I mean, I'm still excited for it. I still would love to see that game made because I think when that trailer did first come out, you were just like, wow.
I remember that actually because I wasn't even in. I don't think I was interested in PlayStation at the time, but I remember very vividly seeing that trailer and just thinking, what the hell is that?
Yeah, exactly.
And how they do it. That looked amazing.
It rocked E3, didn't it? It was just like the game that everyone was talking about.
It was the way the light kind of cascaded through and the feathers of the thing looked so distinct and beautiful. And actually now when you look at it, because we're into PS4 generation, it doesn't even look that impressive anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, do you know what? Because I looked back at the trailer fairly recently, maybe a month ago, and actually I looked at it and did think that. And what was I? I remember seeing something much better than this, but actually no, I did see that.
Guys have moved on, innit? The standards have moved on.
So I mean, I wonder as well. I wonder if they've hit that level where they're thinking, actually, we're now not keeping up. So what we have created isn't keeping up with what has moved on to now. It's taken too long.
Back round to Duke Nukem again, because that's what happened. The engine kept getting too old, so they kept having to updo the engine. And by the time they'd done it, that went up about 3 or 4 times. That process happened. So you can imagine that that's exactly what they've been going through. They probably had the game almost finished, looked at it, thought, crap. Doesn't look any good anymore, and then had to put it on a new engine, and then you're back to square one again with a lot of other bits of it.
Yeah, but hopefully one day we will get to play it, or at least what they've got left, wang it out on iTunes or something like that, so at least we can say something is there.
Let's get all the games out on YouTube. That's what we want to do, is put all the plots of every game out on YouTube.
Yeah, put on YouTube. This is Twitch Play.
It'd be amazing if they released it as an iPad game. That'd be, I mean, the fallout would be just incredible.
It just looks terrible.
Microtransactions as well.
Can I just say, maybe it'll be a Vita game. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah,
Let's have it on Vita.
Almost definitely that's what's going to happen.
50% footage from the 80s.
All right, talking about the Vita brings us smoothly to the final segment of the news pub. Games pub, pub games, whatever this show is called.
So we maybe are.
So it's not actually about the. We're not calling it pews or whatever you've just said.
Pubes.
We're not talking about the Vita, we're talking about the 3DS, but it's a handheld, so it's the right region. So, I know, just call me Mr. Segway. They, Nintendo, Mike Segway. I've got a friend who's called Mike Check. Well, his nickname is because his name's Mike. And every time he was doing stuff at DJs, and I'd say Mike Check into the thing, and he became called Mike Check, even though his name's Mike Roberts. Nah, true story.
Jesus.
So
You make that into a game.
Mike Check. So, new 3DS came out at the weekend. Did anyone buy it?
Someone probably did.
None of us, though.
No, I don't know.
Someone from work bought it. I know. See, for me, like, I've always kind of been tempted by a handheld, tempted by the 3DS, but I just don't think I'd use it enough to justify spending the money on it. And it's the same with 3DS, same with the Vita, same with all that kind of stuff. And it's like, I don't know, I can't justify the investment, even though I'd like to play Luigi's Mansion, I'd like to play the latest new the Zelda game, and a few others.
I love Monster Hunter, so I'm way up for Monster Hunter 4. That's the only way you can play it at the moment, and I love Monster Hunter. It's awesome.
Nintendo.
And cats.
Yeah. I'm quite surprised actually because you commute on the train for 2 hours plus a day, and so how do you spend your time if you're not just? Come on, reveal all.
Sadly, I work. No, not bloody Tinder. I work on the train, Jack, and be a productive citizen. But not that playing games does not make you a productive citizen. But I don't know. I don't even know whether I would play on the train either. I might do. Loads of people do. I can see people like playing like games. Not that I'm looking over their shoulder or being weird or anything.
Whenever I see people on the train playing games, it's always Candy Crush, without fail.
Well, phones have come in and absolutely destroyed that industry, haven't they? Really, in a way.
I'll tell you what, I find, I was just saying to Andy, I've just started playing Transport Tycoon on my iPad 2. Brilliant transport management games. Anyway, but what I find that puts me off playing games, like travelling wise, is actually thinking about, you don't really think about stuff a lot of the time. It's a lot easier to either watch something or anything like that. So playing little Candy Crush Saga, I can understand why people just sort of switch off and play those kind of games rather than actually try and play anything serious. I mean, for me, the only thing that I've been tempted by handheld was PS Vita, and I think that's because of PlayStation Plus and the idea of getting a free game each month. So there's a free game to play on that just automatically. I'd get that. So I don't know, but 3DS, there's a bit of an effort involved now, isn't there, with 3DS?
Both the Vita and the 3DS have their merits, totally. But the Vita, to me, just because of the screen technology, the way it just looks like almost like a next-gen console in itself. It's not because of the small screen size and that. It looks awesome. The graphics look incredible on it. 3DS, to me, even the new version, doesn't feel like the step up I need in technology. Because I've got an old 3DS, so it's not like I'd basically be improving it for a slightly better 3D and like the slightly faster interface, and it's kind of it really. And I feel like Nintendo must be working on a new handheld, and I'd be up for that. But I feel like I don't need to throw my money at them for this one, just for a few extra things. And the fact you can play Xenoblade Chronicles, which doesn't work on the existing one, and that's pretty much like it in terms of like the game so far.
It does seem a bit half-assed from what I've read about it. So
you get a little nubbin, of course.
Well, that's
don't
the thing. It's more powerful, although only a handful of games take advantage of that to start with. And also you've got this weird, not a second thumbstick, but like a nubbin, like an old mouse pad on the laptop.
Yeah, you know, like those little sticky up bits on the old. It's like that, so you've got to kind of wrestle with it.
Think pads, but I don't. That just seems really irritating. I can't imagine having to use that. They should have just stuck another stick on it.
And the most annoying thing is you can't use it. So Kid Icarus is, I don't know if anyone's played Kid Icarus, but it's a game that could really do with dual analog support. It doesn't work with, that weird Frankenstein's monster thing they put out there that it's like becomes the second stick. It doesn't work with that, and therefore it doesn't work with the little nubbin on the new thing either. So it's not like it's enhancing the games. Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know, like, it doesn't feel. It's got loads of media attention, hasn't it? I mean, it was trending on Twitter for ages. A load of people have been interested in it, and you think, I don't know. I did look at it and I thought, is this people interested in a new 3DS, or is this people interested in Majora's Mask? a new Zelda game. Well, an old Zelda game made new.
The worst Zelda game.
Controversial. I don't know if it's the worst one.
No, it's the worst one.
I don't know.
No, I'm telling you now.
I don't think it is.
Well, okay. This just in.
What's your opinion? It's the new.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when Ocarina of Time's on it now, isn't it, as well? On
Ocarina of Time.
which is my favourite Zelda game, the best Zelda game. No, don't look at me like that. But like, I don't know. I just can't see enough of a value, and I think you hit the nail on the head really, because like there's so many decent games. I mean, I see people on the train playing like GTA on a phone. I mean, the interface is a bit clunky, but it's still a pretty good experience.
For like £3 or whatever it is. Yeah.
20 minutes or so.
You can't get Zelda on it.
I bet you can. I bet you can if you hack your iPhone or download a dodgy app for Android.
We don't recommend that, though, do we?
Just saying, just reporting the news.
www.
I think Mike's right. I think with Nintendo, I would expect them to have a brand new handheld coming out in the next couple of
They
years.
need to have a handheld that's also the Wii. Like, it's your go-to console. You take it out with you. You have it at home.
Is the ticket, isn't it? But then, of course, they won't do that because you want to sell 3DSs and you want to sell Wiis, and that's what always is the problem.
I mean, they must be able to do that already. I feel like the fact that you can.
It almost is that. But you can't take it away yet.
You can technically. You could have it on the train and plug it in. There's shots of people on airplanes with their Wii U plugged in to a plug socket, and they're playing on the gamepad.
That's cool.
I
So
mean,
it's like the
you
whole
look,
console,
you look like a massive nerd.
People would look at you and go, "There's no way I'm going to talk to you ever," but you would have a good 20 minutes.
Well, that's probably a good thing. Like, who wants to be talked at on public transport?
Depends, doesn't it? Who it is, If it's
On the subject of screen technology and that, also the gamepad is severely lacking as well, really. When you compare that to the Vita, it's so far behind, it's not even funny. So the Nintendo need to get their technology right, I think, is what I'm not saying they need like as fast as a PS4, but they need, especially when it comes to like the 3DS screen and the gamepad screen. For me now, they're lagging behind so far.
But they always have been. I mean, like, look at the Wii was for ages not even high res, and it was competing with consoles which were streets ahead of it, wasn't it? Once it had gone past the old grannies playing in retirement homes market, it was stuffed.
It was.
So
That's it. I think that's the news. That is the news.
Don't look at the internet anymore. There's nothing more to see. That is the final word. Forget it until
All
until
right.
we're back in the pub.
Check us out on iTunes, which the link will be below this video somewhere. Or you can hit us up on Twitter. I am at MikePlantGC.
At Media Scribbles.
At QLC Jack.
At TLD Dave.
All right, we're done. News out.
Done.